Welcome to our first tactical movie debrief. Like any good drug dealer, the first hit is free.
Most of the time. Most of the time.
Hello, John.
I have to pay for everything.
Hello, Tom.
Yes.
And Merry Christmas to you.
And Merry Christmas to you. And we are doing a Christmas movie.
That's right.
No doubt about it.
The
definitive.
The Christmas.
It goes. It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, Die Hard. That's
I'd flip Miracle on 34th Street. Die Hard.
well, if Natalie Wood was older, then May. And as you can hear, we have with us JR.
Hey.
JR is a wonderful resource, I think, for this specific movie because
I'm old.
JR
That too.
has some tactical experience on teams that rhyme with SWAT.
Not snot. It rhymed with snot.
There you go. You're going to get in trouble.
And as you can also hear, we have Elliot with us. So welcome to our first tactical movie watch. We are going to be doing these more often. We're going to try and watch some movies that involve people in the military, people in law enforcement, people in, I guess, firefighting. I mean, there's what, Backdraft we could do? And
I think that's it.
I was just about.
I was like,
oh wait, Ladder 49.
Was that a
But
movie?
that means
was
we
that
have to watch
Backdraft
that.
I don't
No,
know
they
if I
did make a Backdraft Part 2.
Did they
I think
They
it,
did?
it was like direct to video. It was
Oh.
yeah, it was
Oh.
awful.
Yeah.
I remember Backdraft at Universal Studios.
Yeah, Universal.
Yeah,
When
that was
thing
really
popped,
cool.
That shit was hot.
Hot
It was
shit.
hot as fuck.
Hot as
Yeah.
shit.
So we decided to do our first episode as a Christmas gift to all our listeners, and we sent Elliot and JR some homework, and it was enjoyable homework, I hope. We watched Die Hard. So our
Ta-da.
goal today is to review the movie a little bit, and we're going to talk about what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, and what's just fucking awesome. So yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers! Let's do this. Let's get a little background on Die Hard. First of all, there are two kinds of people in this world. There are the people that think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and the people that are wrong. Die Hard was 1988 20th Century Fox. Die Hard is technically a sequel. Yeah, I'm getting some blank stares.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Roderick Thorpe is an author, and in 1966, he released a book titled The Detective. In 1968, they made The Detective by Roderick Thorpe into a movie starring Mr. Frank Sinatra as Joe Leland. The movie did really well, and Frank Sinatra really dug playing the part. So Frank Sinatra called Roderick Thorpe and said, "Hey, would you write another Joe Leland book so that I can be in a movie based on the second book because I liked playing the part?" So cut to 1979. So 10 years later,
So you finally got to it.
Roderick Thorpe finishes the book, right? And the book is called Nothing Lasts Forever. And here's the synopsis, right? Retired New York police detective Joe Leland is visiting the 40-story office headquarters of the Klaxon Oil Corporation in Los Angeles on Christmas Eve, where his daughter Stephanie Leland Gennaro works.
Yeah.
While he is waiting for his daughter's Christmas party to end, a group of German terrorists led by the ruthless Anton Gruber take over the skyscraper. The terrorists plan to steal documents that will publicly expose the Klaxon Corporation's illegal dealings and deprive Klaxon of the illegal gains by dumping $6 million in cash out of the tower's windows. The barefoot detective slips away and manages to remain undetected in the gigantic office complex, aided outside only by Los Angeles Police Sergeant Al Powell and armed with only a Browning high power. Leland fights off the terrorists one by one.
Better choice than the Beretta.
Cool story, bro.
Oh, we're fighting now. Leland fights off the terrorists one by one in an attempt to save the hostages and his daughter. That's the plot of Nothing Lasts Forever. 1979, the book comes out. They went to Frank Sinatra at this time, who is 73, 74, something like that. And they said, okay, you asked him to write this book as a sequel. He wrote it. They were contractually obligated to offer him the role. But being 73 and rich, Frank Sinatra said, I'll pass. So 20th Century Fox shelved the script for 6 years. And then finally, when the Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, all those movies were getting so popular, 20th Century Fox said, wait, we have this great action movie about a cop in a skyscraper on Christmas Eve. We should make that. So they assigned it to a screenwriter. And they gave it to director John McTiernan, who actually turned it down several times because he didn't want to direct it. John McTiernan directed Predator in 1987. He directed Hunt for Red October. He directed Flight of the Intruder. The movie was produced by Joel Silver, who did Warriors and 48 Hours and Weird Science and Commando. So it has a lot of power behind it. And then it was written by a guy named Jeb Stewart and then a guy named Steven D'Souza. And the original guy who was given the book decided, well, let's not make him a 60-year-old man. Let's make him a 30-year-old man because nobody gives a shit about a 60-year-old retired detective. Let's make him a 30-year-old current detective in New York. And let's not make it his daughter. Let's make it his estranged wife. And Die Hard was born. So they changed the name of the character, and they asked everybody in the world. And the rumor has it, I'll give you a rundown. Clint Eastwood owned the rights to this movie during the early 80s and was going to make it back when it was a 60-year-old detective. When they made it a 30-year-old detective, they offered it to Sylvester Stallone, Harrison Ford, Robert De Niro, Charles Bronson, Nick Nolte, Mel Gibson, Richard Gere, Don Johnson, Burt Reynolds, and Richard Dean MacGyver fucking Anderson, who all turned it down. Nobody wanted to make the movie. They didn't get it. So they went to an unknown actor who was doing a show called Moonlighting.
I remember that.
With Sybil Shepherd.
Sybil Shepherd.
And he played with that frosted lens. So they gave it to Bruce Willis. He got paid like $4 or $5 million, with some ungodly, unheard of amount for a TV actor to get for a movie, because nobody else wanted to do it. And they started making Die Hard. So, I guess, kind of in a way, the little Christmas movie that could almost didn't get made. They had a budget of $28 million, and it ended up grossing, anybody want to guess? $28 million budget, worldwide gross. On a $28 million budget, it made $141 million. Wow. So paying Bruce Willis $4 million to be in it wasn't
so bad.
And they just got $3 more for me.
That's right.
$3.99 for
$3.99.
Which streaming service do you use?
Which
Amazon,
Bruce
right?
Willis got like 78 cents or something like that. And then it spawned the metonym Die Hard on a Blank. So after that, when writers would go in to pitch a movie to studios, they'd be like, it's Die Hard on a Bus. Well, we know that is Speed. Right? So this movie is pretty influential, and it's one of my all-time favorite action movies. And I loved it because Bruce Willis was an everyman. He wasn't jacked like Stallone and Schwarzenegger, and he just kind of had a smart-ass, street cop personality, and you could relate to him. So that's why I love this fucking movie.
All right, let's rip it apart
movie.
now.
So,
Look at this piece of shit.
yeah, exactly. So they actually filmed it in the 20th Century Fox building, the Nakatomi Plaza. Still, you can go see it. It's
Fox Plaza.
You've been there. It's
Century
Fox Plaza in Century City. It was not finished at the time, so they basically told them you can film at night on the floors that aren't finished, but the lawyers, as the lawyers would still be there when they were showing up to start filming, and the lawyers would complain about the gunfire and shit like that. So,
all right, you guys want to dive into it?
let's get into this.
All right.
How does it start?
So the movie opens up, and Bruce Willis is on a plane, and he's landing in Los Angeles.
Armed.
Oh,
On a plane.
we're getting there. Hold on.
Okay,
I haven't gotten there yet. I got one sentence out,
Hey, you got your notes. I got my notes.
which is no notes.
No. Right here, fine.
Anyways, he's white knuckling the grip or the armrest, and the guy he's sitting next to basically makes a comment to him. And what did he say? Like, has he flown before?
Yeah,
or like, not used
you
to
don't like
flying.
flying, huh?
Whatever. And gives him some bullshit thing about jet lag. And the comment that he said to him about the jet lag was, when you get off the plane and you're in your room, take off your shoes and socks, and basically, what do you say? Curl your toes?
Curl your toes.
Curl your
Make
toes.
fists with your toes
Make
in the
fists with
carpet.
your feet.
Yeah.
Which will be important later.
You're right. Exactly. And then when Bruce is getting off the plane. He's reaching up to get the teddy bear, which
which John McTiernan actually uses that teddy bear in Hunt for Red October too. Like it's
Oh, wow.
become
Jack
like
Ryan gives
the
it to
Jack
his
Ryan
brother.
teddy bear
Yeah.
on the plane is that like that's kind of a signature his. So
right.
that teddy bear's got more acting gigs than any of us.
Yeah.
So he reaches up to get the teddy bear, and obviously his gun starts to show, which was in a
Galco shoulder.
Yeah,
rig.
Galco shoulder rig.
also.
guy makes a comment about it. Bruce makes a comment back to him, basically being a smartass for the original comment that he said about the
It's a K, I'm
The
a
jet-
cop.
right.
Right.
So who just walks on a plane with a gun?
Well, I can tell you right now, I don't know
Nowadays,
about back then, but when I went to Undercover Narcs, I had to actually get special training to be blessed and certified to carry a gun on a plane. And even then, even though I had the special training and certification, you had to serve the FAA with a letter from the chief and or whoever stating the necessity to fly
Sure.
armed.
So did you guys fly back then?
Yeah,
Have you
so
guys-
late, so 80, I want to say 89. Yeah, probably about 89, a year after that. Late 80s. I went on extradition to Oklahoma, where did I go? Missouri. And yes, you could carry a gun, but there was a process where you had to get a letter from the chief
Right.
that got it cleared through whatever the airline you were flying there, back. It had to have all of your flight information, who you were, what you were doing, blah, 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 blah. So, yes, you could carry a gun, but you didn't just walk on the plane with a gun.
And
Right.
a little bit of trivia of that is even if you had the letters, the certifications, the authorizations, the captain of the plane can still say no.
Yeah,
That's
the pi-
correct.
to
Oh,
this
interesting.
day, I
To this
think.
day,
To
actually, I
this
think-
day,
To this
if the,
day,
the
the
pilot
captain
can tell
can
you,
say no.
fuck no.
Yeah.
So he basically blesses it at the end.
Yeah.
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 It's his plane.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting on it without his say
Right.
so, armed or whatever.
And over the years, I've flown several times armed, and usually the pilots are pretty cool.
Pretty cool about
They
it.
try and put you up close.
yeah,
they
they're like,
want you
oh,
up
you
close
got a
to the
gun?
cockpit.
Come sit by
First
sit by me.
class. Here you go.
You want
Just
to
on a
sit?
side note, I
You want
won-
to sit in the side seat?
I had one captain say, "Yeah, no problem. You can sit over here. Just remember, if he gets past you, just lay down." Okay. Then he had
Wow.
he had a 45 in the cockpit.
Oh,
with him.
legit.
Attaboy.
Oh yeah. This was after 9/11.
Fuck a air marshal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So permission and necessity, and the pilot has to buy off on it. And something tells me that didn't happen in this case.
No.
But it worked for the script, so whatever.
Yeah. So, anyways, he gets off the plane, meets his limo driver, and
Argyle.
Argyle.
That's right.
Argyle.
Good stereotype there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That hip ass limo driver.
Shall we not
Yeah.
get into the stereotype?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was.
No, he's just a hip ass limo driver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he goes. So he takes him to the plaza. Gets to the plaza, and by this time, we're basically finding out that he's been separated from his wife for, what was it, like 6 months or so?
Yeah, we find out on the limo ride that he lives in New York. He's a New York cop. She moved out to LA for a job.
For a job
and
that
they are
took off.
separated.
Right.
And this wasn't his idea.
Right. So,
So I have to ask John, were there any of the acronyms or that Argyle lays out in the limo, all the features of the limo that you've never heard of before?
That's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny because I didn't even think of that.
CB,
No.
VHS.
because I still caught the tail end. Like, my first item of music was a cassette.
Okay.
It was a cassette.
Yeah, you're in that generation that still remembers like actual
Like, I actually
magnetic
had
tape.
it.
Yeah.
Like, I had
Yeah.
it. You know,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
very,
Okay.
very
Like a
tail end.
Walkman.
Yeah.
But
Remember the Walkman
you
with the
saw
cassette?
payphones, you just never used them.
I have used a payphone.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
I have.
Perfect.
Yeah, actually, later on in life, it was kind of weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of weird.
But anyways,
Okay.
Which, okay, so first of all, great job by the filmmakers to show what a average Joe Bruce Willis is by making him get in the front.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
He gets in the front and sits next to the limo driver. In other words,
bears in the back seat in the
fuck
rear
all
view.
this bullshit. Like he even in the airport when he gets to LA, he's looking at people like, you freaking freak LA bougie assholes. So that was a cool.
Speaking of assholes, that was the most. I think that is probably the first appearance of yoga pants in a major motion picture.
Really?
Oh, when the blonde chick
Yes,
jumps on the other guy in the
yes.
airport.
I think that's probably,
You're right.
I think that's probably
Die Hard invented
Yes.
yoga. Whoever the costume designer for Die Hard
Interesting.
invented yoga pants.
Lululemons, whatever those
Yeah.
things are called, right there. That
There
was
you
where
go.
the inspiration
Interesting.
came from.
So, anyways, they're on the way to the plaza, And Argyle is basically harping on him, trying to find out information about what this guy or what Bruce does, his family life. You know, he's giving him a little bit of shit of like, hey, you divorced? You're not divorced? Like, what the fuck's going on, sort of thing. So, anyways. And I guess it's also the same time period that you can smoke pretty much anywhere the fuck you want because he lit up a cigarette in the airport, in the limo, when he got out of the limo. I mean, pretty much everywhere throughout the movie.
Smoking was still cool.
You probably smoke on the plane if you wanted
Yeah,
to.
there was a smoking section on the plane.
For this whole period of time, you had the little hole in your...
Shit, you could smoke there?
He was just a chain smoker.
Yeah, for real.
Up until the gun shoot. Like, everyone started shooting pretty much. But anyways, they get to the plaza, and Argyle is basically like, hey, man, if it doesn't work out for you up there, I'm going to wait here for you.
Right. At this point, do we know what day it is? We don't, right?
What day it is?
Yeah.
I think we did know it's Christmas Eve.
I don't think we know.
I don't
it's
think it
Christmas
actually
Eve
says
there,
it's
right?
Christmas Eve, but everything that
Everything's
it portrays
you know it's Christmas
is
time.
Christmas Eve.
You know it's Christmas time, right? Because then I remember
He actually says, hey, do you got any Christmas music?
Yeah.
While he's on the way.
And guess what? Wasn't it Run DMC?
Run DMC.
It was
Yeah,
Run DMC, Christmas in Hollis. But I remember thinking, probably not at the time, but later on, I'm like, who's having a Christmas party on Christmas Eve?
Who's working on
Who's
Christmas
working
Eve?
on Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Like what? I still to this day, I'm like, what the actual
Nakatomi
fuck?
Plaza people are
Well,
fucking
if
working.
you remember later in the movie, they actually say they're the only people left
in the building.
Something story building.
Right, true.
So maybe Joseph Takagi's a dick.
Those damn Japanese.
Damn Jeffs. Actually, the guy that says that about they're the only ones left, I think, is the security downstairs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyways, he says he'll wait, or Argyle says he'll wait for Bruce. If it doesn't work out, don't worry about it. You got a place to stay, sort of thing.
And what limo driver's going to sit there and wait for that
Right.
fucking long?
But,
It's in the script.
Oh, yeah.
right.
Anyway,
Anyways, he gets up there, and just so I don't keep, I don't think I messed it. Was it not? Can you pronounce is it Nagatomi?
Nakatomi.
Nakatomi. Okay, I said Nag, so Nakatomi.
It's not
Okay.
Nagasaki Plaza.
No.
That one was leveled.
Nakatomi.
Completely different.
Yeah.
So anyway, he walks in, he goes up the elevator. He goes up the elevator, immediately greeted with some champagne, takes a sip, doesn't fucking like it because he's probably Bruce Willis. And he's like, fuck that
Because
shit.
champagne's bougie.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm gonna back up. As cops, we know that right there is a load of bullshit. Because if you're a cop worth his salt and you're going to see your estranged wife at a party full of bougie assholes in LA, you're not only going to drink that champagne whether you like it or not, you're going to drink 2 champagnes, immediately look for a whiskey, try and drink that, and then go see your wife.
Just to get comfortable.
Just to level yourself out because you are a complete fish out of water and you need a little liquid courage.
I'm just going to go straight to the house. I mean, personally.
Well, there's that. Go see the kids.
Yeah.
Go see the
Go
kids.
see the kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So anyways, he meets Nagatomi, and he basically...
No, Takagi is the
Takagi.
guy.
Oh my
Takagi.
God.
Nakatomi's the
I know,
plaza.
I know. Here we go.
Yeah, you're going to
Too
have to
much
watch
whiskey.
Midway next. And, all your
Oh my God,
characters.
that'll.
Okay.
He meets
okay.
Takagi.
So anyway, he meets him. He knows who... They know each other.
Yeah.
Obviously from previous contacts. Anyways, he takes him to his estranged wife's office.
Yeah.
Office?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice
And-
big ass office.
Nice office.
Except for the last name is now changed on the door,
Uh-huh.
and he's having some issues with it.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
And that douchebag coworker is doing
Doing
coke
coke on the- yeah, I was just
fucking
about to
desk.
say,
Doing lines
dude.
of coke, right.
And actually, to be honest with you, I thought, seeing this now for the first time in 10 years, I was like, oh, fuck, he's getting a blowjob by his wife. I thought,
Oh, behind
yeah, behind the because the way he got up was like, oh my God.
That's on a different channel.
I know.
Yeah, that's not on.
But luckily, it was just cocaine.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Just cocaine.
Just
no big deal.
cocaine.
Okay, so
So that period of time, I think that was...
it was the cocaine
And
cowboys
blowjobs.
and
yeah, all that. It was huge that back then. Cocaine was like
Totally.
what, $60,000 a key or something like that. It was super popular.
it was the party drug.
But so let for anybody that has a question about this.
Actually, it was 35,000
Okay, there you go.
time wholesale.
There you go. So if you're a cop from New York, you walk into an office in LA and you see a dude just running rails of blow up his nose.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have much of a reaction.
He
Other
kind
than-
of looks at him. He's like,
He
yeah,
goes,
you're a
"Hey, you
douchebag."
missed some.
So if you're a cop and you've had more than a few years on the job, you probably look at that and go, yeah, whatever. Just move on.
This is not my jurisdiction.
It's not my jurisdiction.
I'm
Not my jurisdiction.
I'm out. Whatever.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
And it's LA, so it's probably legal.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So wife ends up walking in,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got that whole scene of like, oh my gosh, I missed you, and that sort of thing. Not as dramatic, but anyways. So they go to she's got her own bathroom, right? Or there was another office with its own separate bathroom.
She has her own bathroom.
It was the Cocaine Cowboy's bathroom. Because if you remember later, she talks about trying to get promotions and this, that, and the other thing, and getting that bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
It's the
right.
Cocaine
Yeah,
Cowboy's
okay.
bathroom.
Got it. So anyways, they start an argument. Or actually,
No,
I think
I
Bruce
think
starts the
he's
argument. Yeah.
Well, because they hadn't decided
Where he's gonna stay.
Which, who flies out to LA to see his estranged wife and kids without figuring out where you're going to
No,
stay
he knows
first?
exactly where he's going to stay. He's going to stay in Pomona with his retired buddy.
Right, but...
No, I'm sorry. Ramona is where he's
Ramona,
gonna stay.
yeah. She laughs. But you... Like, she doesn't know. Like, she's like, oh, have you decided where you're...
And she says, I got a spare bedroom and I miss you. And
Right.
It's in the script.
Well, yeah, that's the easy answer. But, come on. Like, really? That's what we're here to do, is pick apart the realism.
This is blasphemy, by the way, picking this movie apart like this.
Yeah, but it's so good.
So
'Cause
anyways,
I love this movie.
they get into an argument. She walks out. She's got to give a speech. He's taking a Puerto Rican bath with...
Oh,
Like
I
a
called
what?
it an Italian shower.
Horse bath.
Whore bath.
Okay.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
this.
all
We had 3 different completely...
Wow. Yeah.
Wait.
I would
Yeah,
have gone Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican bath?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So, Italian shower, whore bath.
For the listeners, he was in the sink with a fucking washcloth.
Right.
And his
Washing
arm...
hairy bits.
Yeah.
That's right.
And...
Wait, are you going to take your shoes off, by the way? Are you? Would you really?
I don't do that.
Because he does. He does
Well,
the...
he takes his shoes off.
I would have taken them off, but as soon as he heard gunfire, the first thing I'm doing...
Put your shoes
Put
back
your
on.
fucking shoes back on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to check because that's. I mean, it's a great plot device. Yes, the script strikes again. It was in the script. He doesn't put his fucking shoes back on.
Yeah.
But every time I'm like, that's the first. Like, you were barefoot. Put your fucking shoes back on.
Exactly.
Okay.
So anyways, while this is going on, you got Huey Lewis and...
Yeah. So the guy they replaced the security guard with always looks like Huey Lewis to me.
He does look like
Yeah.
Huey Lewis.
and the hacker
Yeah,
that pretty much is going to handle all the computer systems and security systems.
Yeah, the
This
first
movie.
dude
They
is
walk into the office.
Alexander Goodenough, the ballet dancer,
Yeah.
and the black dude come in and kill the security guard and
Right.
replace him with Huey Lewis.
as the courier truck
As the-
is
right.
pulling in,
Right.
sort of deal.
Right. Now, here's a fuck up in the movie that I didn't notice for years until it was pointed out to me, right? Spoiler alert, later on in the movie, they try to escape with an ambulance.
Yes.
And the fucking ambulance comes out of what?
Yeah.
The moving truck.
Yeah.
In this scene
No, it was a Trojan horse.
where the moving truck opens and Hans and all the bad guys.
Yeah, there ain't nothing
not
else in
There's
there.
no fucking ambulance in that
There's
moving
nothing.
truck.
I'm pretty sure
there's
there's-
nothing in there. And so I watched the interview with John McTiernan and just in preparation for this, he goes, "Yeah, when we realized that in editing, we were like, fuck it. If people notice that, the movie sucks."
It is what it is.
Yeah, it took us like 30 years to figure that out.
Exactly. So, and hey, I never noticed.
So here's the thing that I always had about, you look at all these guys, right? They are dressed to the nines. Hans Gruber,
Yeah.
wonderful suit. The hacker.
They
great
make a
suit.
joke about that later.
Yeah. The Italian suit
Yeah.
with Takagi and everything. I have 2 of those, right? So Goodenoff's brother, right?
Yeah. Tony and Carl. Right.
Tony and Carl. I'm going with his luggage got lost from Lufthansa when they flew from Germany.
Something.
Okay, so his luggage gets lost. Where do they go? They go to Rite Aid.
Way to plug in the
Go to Rite Aid,
Right.
and the only thing you can buy in Rite Aid is
On
what?
Christmas Eve is a gray
Gray
fucking
sweatpants.
sweatsuit.
That's
Because
what I'm going with.
why the hell is that the only guy wearing?
Even Huey Lewis, the
Yeah.
security guard, has his cowboy boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's squared away.
Yeah. Except for sweatsuit.
Rite Aid.
Sweatsuit man.
Rite Aid.
sweatsuit man.
Yeah.
And-
Maybe he was part Russian.
no, he's German.
I know, but
His
he could be
brother.
German Russian.
I don't know. I'm
Hence the set-
I'm
hence
going
the
with
sweatsuit.
Lufthansa. Lost his. No,
Hence
that
the
would be
sweatsuit.
Adidas. That'd
What?
be Adidas.
My
Adidas.
Tracksuit. You're-
Tracksuits.
Bro.
Yeah, the
Tracksuits.
tracksuits.
Bro. This is
Armenian dudes in dumbass sweats.
Okay, so they kill the security guard.
So they
and
kill the
replace
security
him with
guard.
Huey Lewis.
And the everybody that had pretty much got out of the courier truck is now working their way up to, is it the 30th floor?
Something like that.
30, 31, something like that. And this was the first weird part that I thought of this movie. I was like, nah, fucking way. Doors, the elevator doors are opening. They're sitting there with MP5s
and Steyr Augs.
Yeah.
No. There is no Steyr Aug yet.
Oh, really?
No,
Yeah,
first
the
one.
Aug came out.
Doesn't come into play till later.
Yeah.
Is that when Carl puts it together?
Yeah, with Fabio.
That's right, Fabio.
So, so they take the two guys with the MP5s in the front. They take like 2 steps out of the elevator in a very, very, very slow motion, and kind of look around the corners. And I'm like, wait a second. There's like 50 people in here, and they're actually looking his direction, and no one's doing anything about this.
Yeah.
And then they all exit the elevator, and then the shit hits the fan. And I'm like, what the fuck? Did it take them shooting?
Didn't they shoot? Yeah, that's the only time that people notice. Well, they're all hopped up on champagne and blow.
They're like, oh, that's normal.
That's fine. It's L.A. They're white. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking back to their luggage, did you notice that the slings on the MP5s were the straps from their luggage? They took them right off the luggage, put them on the MP5s.
What?
Oh my
No, I
gosh.
didn't
People
know.
are going to
Look
go
at
back to
the-
this
look at the
movie and be
slings.
like, what
Are
the
they?
fuck?
What are you
They're
talking?
like full on snap links from fucking cheap luggage. They're horrible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never noticed that.
Not a deployed stock amongst them.
Okay.
Yeah, and fire from the hip the entire movie.
Well, of course.
everything.
All the coolest Germans fire from the hip.
Yeah.
And the best part about this is when I think maybe the first or second volley of fire, when they're actually trying to scare everyone, there's one dude shooting at the ground, literally at their feet. Like rounds aren't going to skip up and just destroy everybody's shins and knees.
Well, I don't think
I'm like, nobody's falling.
Not even like rubbing their shins from ricochets.
Nothing.
No,
It's just,
ow.
oh, that's scary. That's scary.
Okay, so let's then this is a good time. So Hans opens fire, and let's talk about the guns in the movie because I actually thought that whoever the prop master was or the armorer was on this, I think did a relatively decent job because you have the John McClane, and as we established, he should have been carrying a Browning high power, but he's carrying the Beretta 92F, which knowing Joel Silver did Lethal Weapon and Die Hard, he
Wait
must
a minute, who had the Browning high power?
in the book.
In the book.
In the book,
Oh,
he
in the
was
book.
supposed to have a
Frank
Browning high
Frank
power.
Sinatra would have had a
Frank
Browning
Sinatra, of course, would have had a Browning high power.
Of course.
Well, Frank Sinatra might have had a 1911.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
face
that's
it.
probably true.
So you got the 92F. Then Hans has the HKP7 squeeze cocker.
in stainless, no less.
And by the way, I did hear that because A, Alan Rickman had never done a movie, and B, never had a gun. He was a Shakespearean actor. One of the people on the film said, we had to teach him to stiffen his wrist a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure
I was
they
limp
did.
wristing it.
Yeah.
So here's a question I have about the HKP7.
Okay.
Why did he take the suppressor off when he goes
To
Oh,
shoot-
to assassinate.
Yeah.
Well,
Kagi?
let's talk about that when we get there then.
Okay, all right.
So,
Oh,
go ahead. You have a Walther PPK, right? And that's when they shoot the security guard down in the lobby.
Oh yeah, that was the
Right,
point blank
right,
range
right?
one. Yeah.
So Carl, who is Alexander Goodenough, and if you're me, you remember him from such wonderful cinematic masterpieces as The Money Pit.
Yes.
He was a professional ballet dancer
Yep.
who was brought to the United States and became
He
an
looks
actor.
like one. Yeah.
And then, so he's got the PPK with the suppressor on it, and he leaves his suppressor on when he shoots the security guard in the lobby.
As he should.
Yeah, of course. Why would you take it off?
Yeah.
Then this was interesting because we're getting into Al Powell, but Al had the Smith Model 15. And I double checked with a buddy of mine that, yes, in fact, at that time they were issuing the Smith Model 15.
88 is right about the time LAPD started issuing Berettas.
All right, so you got the and then the Walther P5, right? The M16, the MP5, the Steyr AUG, the Steyr SSG 69, the M60, and what looks to be some sort of a bullshit movie version of a Stinger missile. Now, I dug it because they gave the terrorists European guns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they gave John McClane a Beretta, and they gave Al Powell a Smith. And they gave the SWAT guys M16s. That actual attention to detail of making sure that the, German terrorist bank robbers had all European and specifically German guns, I thought it's kind of a nice little attention to detail. So I honestly had no quibbles with any of the weapon choices in the movie for the time period.
Yeah.
Benny,
I would agree, but to get back to the quasi Stinger, it's like why not just give him a red eye, which was the forerunner of the Stinger? Why do we have this goofy tripod thing that has
we'll
to be
get to that.
hammer-headed
Yeah,
down to the
we will
concrete?
get to that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so now Bruce, by this point, he's hiding in the. I think actually he changed. He didn't go to the. He got out of the bathroom and actually went into a different room. It's at least it looked smaller when the door was opened, and he's obviously hiding. Whatever. He ends up going upstairs rather than downstairs.
Yeah.
So, is that a tactic anyone else would have taken?
I think that is a classic horror movie spin.
Correct. Right.
Where you
Right.
always
Right.
go up.
Yeah, you
or
go
or
where
to
you
the
hear-
graveyard.
Yeah,
C-
yeah.
right.
I was just about to say, you go where you hear the
There's
chainsaws.
there's noise there. I'm gonna walk to it, investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I in my notes I did have what I put was run, hide, kill is your only option, obviously.
Right.
But get your goddamn shoes on
Right.
and run upstairs.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
To his defense, the first dude he kills, he tried on his shoes.
Yeah, nobody else though.
Yeah, it was just the
Well,
first guy.
those shoes also came from Rite Aid. Which
They were in the bin by the cash register.
Okay, so believe it or not, despite what it looks like, Bruce Willis was not barefoot. They made him rubber feet.
of course.
Yeah, I could see.
They made, and there's one or two scenes where if you look closely, you can see the line where the rubber feet stop and his legs begin. But I just found it interesting. They were like, "No, Mr. Willis, we don't want you to hurt your feet. We're going to make you fake rubber feet." Which, you know, if I was an actor, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, I want rubber feet."
That's a long time barefoot.
That's a long time to be
Doing a lot
barefoot.
of shit barefoot.
All right, so
So while Bruce is making his lack of escape, he ends up seeing the missiles that we have talked about
right,
being wheeled in.
right.
And that brings up the question, okay, now do we take out these dudes with these missiles? Are we going to try and save, we're going to try to prevent death by
Yeah.
taking these dudes out? Or are we going to just let them wheel away?
So that was another one of my questions. Is
And just so you know, he went up again.
yeah. So
So he closed the door and goes back up.
I mean, okay, yeah, there was more of them than him, but they're wheeling missiles in, and he's armed and ready and has the element of surprise.
Mm-hmm.
I would think you could get the drop on those guys and prevent those missiles from doing whatever they have intended for them if you decide to attack. Am I wrong? Would
Go
you?
ahead, say it. It's in the script.
It's in the
No, we can't say that anymore. We're forbidden from saying that.
But it
because
is. They needed
we're
it.
talking
But
But a
from-
2-hour movie would have turned into a 32-minute movie.
No, but that's what we're here to talk is the tactics. Would you have done it different? Would you have attacked at that point?
Oh, absolutely. Especially since those guys were so concerned with pushing the cart and everything else. Their hands
Yeah,
were
kind of fair
occupied.
game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I would think so.
I think you could have. I
Absolutely.
think you could have gotten the drop on him and attacked him at that point. There's probably a couple of points where I will say I would have attacked instead of run and hid, but that would be one of them. I just wanted to see if I was the only fucking one that was. And you guys look at me and go, "No, you're stupid."
Yeah.
Don't-
There are several things I wouldn't have done.
yeah. Okay.
Obviously.
But that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, he goes upstairs, and for the listeners, just so you know, we have actually the movie playing in the background, so we're kind of watching.
Yeah,
it
we have
as
it.
we're at a pretty much right on par.
Yeah, we're
Almost.
almost caught up.
So pretty much where we're at is simultaneously, Bruce goes up the stairs. He gets to another level. That is a level that is not finished yet. So it's just a bunch of construction going on. Also, Takagi gets assassinated basically at this point.
Yeah, so Hans gives his speech about, who's Joseph Takagi. I know all.
Right.
I found it interesting actually. Takagi was imprisoned in Manzanar,
Yeah.
which was an interesting little character. For those of our listeners not familiar, Manzanar was a Japanese internment camp off the 395 in California, where
On the way to Yosemite.
on the way to Yosemite, where the Japanese were interned. And so I thought it interesting was they said, yeah, he was interned in a camp during World War II, but then after he got out, he became a fucking millionaire with hard work and effort. So it was just an interesting character trait. The other thing was his password when they finally type it in is Akagi, which is I believe the name of a Japanese aircraft carrier
is.
that attacked Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the dude had
Ay,
some,
ay.
and maybe they should have locked him up in Manzanar if that's his family. But he gives the speech about Joseph Takagi, blah, blah, blah. Then he pulls him into the conference room and interrogates him to try and get his password.
Right. And he's not giving it up.
No, but that's where you find out guess what? They're not terrorists.
Right.
They're thieves.
Right. They just want the money.
They just want the money, which I guess was, as we talked about the original novel, they were terrorists, and they were just teaching this corporation a lesson. And the director, a week into filming, goes, there's nothing fun about terrorists, guys.
No.
So let's make them robbers. Robbers are fun. Let's make this a date movie. And I think it was a good choice because ultimately you do kind of have more fun with Hans Gruber being this glorified robber as opposed to being a terrorist.
Right.
So I think it was a good choice.
So basically, as this.
You see what I'm
I
talking
know
about,
exactly
don't
what
you?
you're talking about right now.
What?
Oh, about the
sling,
straps?
The sling.
Oh, we'll get
slings?
to it, yeah.
They're total
Well, we
clip-ons.
have a perfect moment to talk about the sling because the sling becomes a key focal point
In one of the
in
scenes
one
we're
of
going
the
to talk
scenes we're
about.
about to talk about.
Yeah,
so.
So, but prior to that scene, we've got now Bruce up at I believe it was the 32nd floor. And he goes, hey, what a great idea. I'm going to pull the fire alarm, and I'm going to get a response from first responders.
Okay, really? Is that a good idea?
Second responders.
Oh,
Damn,
shots fired.
fucking Throwing it out there. Yeah.
There's none of them in
Do
the
they have to
room,
stage?
So we can talk about them.
I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, really, if you pull the fire alarm and those guys actually got to the first floor and security was like, oh, yeah, it was false alarm, guys, whatever.
Yeah.
They're not going upstairs. They're not going to go check it out.
No.
No.
So
They got to climb
it wasn't
stairs.
good. Yeah, it wasn't going to happen
Dinner's
anyways.
burning on the stove.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, and
We're going back.
Also, these guys are clearly armed to the teeth and ready for bear. You don't think they have a plan for the fucking fire alarm, number one. And number two, you're just telegraphing that somebody's loose in the building.
Right.
Would you pull the fire alarm? I'm not sure I would.
Well,
I think there's a time and a place for pulling a fire
unless
alarm.
you want it to be a BO call, meaning someone comes, they check it out. So if something happens somewhere down the line, it's a bullshit call.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have to remember that now that, hindsight being 2020, is that we do want a response from law enforcement.
Right.
They do want
They
a
do.
response in the end. That's
But
what
he
they
pulled.
want.
But Bruce Willis pulls the fire alarm and telegraphs that he's loose in the building.
Right.
So I don't know that I'd pull the fire alarm.
But at this point, do they know he was loose in the building?
They
at this
didn't.
point?
They-
No,
not-
it
not
wasn't
yet.
until he killed that first dude.
Yeah.
No, it was he killed the dude, but he pulls the fire alarm, and they're like, who pulled the fire alarm?
Yeah, so then they're like, hey, go check the 32nd floor.
Exactly.
Right.
That's when he kills him.
So, I mean, maybe you don't pull the fire alarm and you
Maybe
keep
not.
the element of surprise.
Maybe not.
So they send one of these thieves up, gets to the 32nd
Check
floor,
it out.
walks in, and you've got kind of, you got
Sweatpants man.
a sweatpants man.
Yes.
Open, basically, like I said, an open floor that's still under construction. So it looked like there was a decent amount of places to hide. However, the first place that Bruce was to where he ended up, he would have fucking saw him run. I'm just saying. For sure, he would have saw him moving from cover. I'm just gonna put that out there, or concealment.
Right.
But whatever.
But that's what we're here for.
Okay, so I know this isn't tool time. This is supposed to be like gun time. So we have steel stud construction
Yeah.
and
Yes.
drywall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do we have a circular saw?
Good point. Wait, is it a masonry saw?
Nope. Circular saw for
It
cutting
Was a-
lumber.
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
circular saw.
Yeah.
Is it? Maybe it just has a diamond blade for steel?
Nope. Nope. Crosscut saw. If you look at it, it's for cutting
I'm just trying.
Nope, I was
I'm
there.
trying.
steel.
I seen that. I seen the whole thing.
Aluminum studs. And
Yeah,
drywall
you're right.
all
You're
construction.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
You tin snips is all you really.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
So here's the thing. Bruce sneaks
And
up
a
on this
buck knife.
dude. And, he sneaks up on this dude. Basically,
Sweatpants man.
yeah, he
Tony.
He has a
Such an
name.
Italian name.
You know everything else about
Or
this
such a-
fucking movie.
I
What's
know,
his
right?
name?
Tony.
Tony.
Okay,
Oh, was it Tony? Okay, so he walks up to Tony point blank range, puts his
Carl's
Beretta,
brother.
Yeah, puts his Beretta up to the back of his head and goes, basically, freeze, motherfucker. That sort of thing.
Oh,
So-
he's black now.
Yeah. Well, that's just the voice I use. So, anyways, now, if it was me, I would have shot him.
Right.
There would have been, and literally almost, it looked blatantly like he was ready for a fist fight.
Yes.
So I'm like, why are we fighting over guns here?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. There are at least 3 times in this movie where John McClane should have just shot the motherfucker.
Yep.
Should have just shot the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
It's not suspenseful
right.
ish for its time.
It's more fun. I get it.
Yeah.
But
So, anyways,
for the budding cops out there who are watching this movie going, yeah, John McClane's a badass. No, John McClane should have shot a couple motherfuckers a lot
Right.
sooner.
they fight. They fall downstairs.
accidentally breaking his neck.
Right.
Doesn't even kill him on purpose.
Right. Anyways, Tony's dead.
Right.
Now Bruce says, well, I'm going to make it known that I'm here. I'm going to assume it was blood, right?
Yeah.
On his sweatshirt.
Sure.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Yes.
Christmas reference. Let's go.
Fucking and puts a Santa hat on him.
Puts a Santa hat on.
Wraps him in Christmas lights and ties him to a chair.
And sends him to the 30th floor.
Sends him to the 30th floor.
So now everybody knows someone's loose.
Yeah, and I think they had a clue at that point. Not just a fire alarm, something else tipped him off, because that's why he decided to basically say, okay, not only, I know you know I'm here, but guess what? There, and here we go.
Right.
I have a machine. And Hans Gruber delivers his probably single greatest line of the movie when he says, now I have a machine gun. Ho.
Oh, yeah. Ho.
Ho.
Wait, right there he looks like, he's like, oh my God.
Ho, ho, ho on the planet.
And now
but
Bruce.
okay, so this is great. I love that they show him writing their names down.
Yeah, that was very smart.
Very smart. He's
very sharp.
writing their names down. He's taking roll. He's keeping track of who's who in the zoo. Yeah. That was such a great tactical thing. Like, okay, granted, he should have shot some motherfuckers a little bit earlier.
Where'd he get the Sharpie?
It's an office building.
I understand. He grabbed it when he was running by.
How do you mark tin snips, or how do you mark steel studs where you're going to cut them, but with a Sharpie?
Not with a Sharpie.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying. All right, so he delivers Tony, and he's hiding on top of the elevator.
Right.
And he's riding up the elevator.
Right, and he's got the radio.
Yeah.
So anyways, he's working his way up to the roof now.
Yeah.
He's got the radio, and he's dialed it. And it was security radios, right?
Yeah, it was. Well, so that's what I'm kind of curious about.
I got confused.
They have a keypad.
No, they're CBs.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah, but they can
Argyle
talk
hear
to
'em.
the fucking cops.
But here's the thing: dispatch can hear him.
Channel 9 on Channel 9 on CB is like the universal broadcast for emergencies.
Even for limo drivers?
Yeah, everything. CB.
Oh, the CB period.
Citizens Band Radio.
Yeah, but
Okay.
is Citizens Band going to reach police dispatch and Al Powell on his handheld?
In Die Hard, it is.
Okay, moving on then.
Okay, so he makes it up, and now everyone's pretty much, at this point, is going to now start flooding to the roof. But when Bruce does make contact with dispatch via CB.
Yeah, he gets to the roof, and he uses the radio, and he contacts...
And they're like, sir,
he'll contacts a police officer whose gender shall remain nameless.
A room
She
full of...
fucking hears gunfire.
But hold on, real quick. She hears gunfire at the end.
Yeah, it was at the end.
He is requesting, hey,
Yeah.
look, this is what's going on. I need help. And she's
Right.
like, sir, call 911.
Right.
No, you don't understand. I can't call 911. I have to contact you on here. I don't have a phone.
But who
This is
are
what's
they?
going on.
And by the way, you are 911.
I was going to say, who are they?
Yeah.
Right.
This is my direct line to 911.
Listen, bitch.
And here's the thing. Even when she hears the gunfire and now he's trying to get away from the guys that are shooting at him, they dispatch one sergeant
An
to just be
L-car.
like, hey, dude, kind of suspicious.
To check
sir.
the welfare.
Yeah, can you just go check it out real quick?
And let's just go ahead and just call this what it is. That is exactly what would have happened. That is
Oh,
precisely
see,
what would have happened.
I wrote down
And fast forward,
that
should be a commander.
I was going to say, I wrote down that the female supervisor in dispatch either was fired or got promoted.
No, she was a P2. If you look at her, she has absolutely
Yeah,
no
she has
markings on her
nothing.
uniform whatsoever,
There you
including
go.
service
Right.
marks.
That's commander.
She's
So, yeah, 100% that she's getting promoted.
There she
There
She is.
Sir, this is an emergency frequency. It's for emergencies only.
So
Well,
like
what
he
the
said,
fuck you think this
well,
is?
Yeah, like he said though. What are they doing? What's their job?
the ponytails are
Aren't they
amazing, by the
911?
way.
Yeah. Well, okay. Was that also wasn't that dispatcher wearing a police uniform?
Yes.
Yeah.
Both
So,
of them are.
duh.
Yeah. Both of them are.
Hello.
That's awkward.
Yeah. I remember thinking as a kid, this is the first time I'd ever seen a Steyerog. I remember thinking it was one of the coolest looking guns ever. And then years later, I
Little
realized
did you
how
know it turned out to
wrong
be a
I
piece
was.
of shit.
Yeah.
They treat the Steyerog in this movie like it's freaking Excalibur.
Yeah.
Like they bring it out of a bag.
Oh, yeah,
and they
dude.
lovingly
It is the
assemble
shit.
it.
He
And then it just
assembles it and
lays
blah.
waste to everything.
Yeah, it's the most powerful.
And he does. He lays waste to everything but Bruce Willis.
But
Oh,
Bruce
and
Willis.
let me
Right.
back up. Let me back up and add in that first of all, no cop worth his salt is going to call an MP5 a machine gun. Okay.
Right.
So,
or run around with his finger on every single trigger.
Okay,
while
so I got
trying
something
to
about
turn it
that.
okay.
So not only does he run around with his finger on the trigger, he switches hands
His
all the
booger
time.
hook
All the
on
time.
bang
Yeah.
switch.
With his
Yeah.
finger on the trigger.
Yeah.
So I know he's left-handed.
Yeah.
I'm
Also-
guessing he's left-handed overall.
He actually, Bruce Willis is left-handed, and he is always a stickler. Oh, by the way, Tuffy's jackets.
Can we pause? Can we pause the movie for just a second?
Yeah, I
Because
just want to.
Yeah, we don't actually have
I
to
just
watch
want to
it in
mention
real time.
something real quick with the MP5s because I know we're bringing up the guns. If you pay attention to every opening scene with the thieves and their MP5s, they load around in every time.
They walk around with the bolt locked to the rear and a magazine inserted and slap the bolt release.
Every time.
And they walk-
Every time.
Because it's cool. Well, it's the same
the
reason.
room is littered with like live rounds.
Like literally.
By the time they clear a whole floor, they're going to have one round left.
That's right.
Those 120 round magazines are going to have like one round left.
Do they have drum mags?
Sorry,
for
I
those
had to
MP5s?
throw that in there. Sorry.
All right, so Al Powell's buying Twinkies.
No. See, and this is I have a problem with this.
Okay, go.
Okay, so any police officer worth his salt is not going to buy Twinkies.
No.
He's going to straight up go to a pop spot.
Yeah, you're
right?
always going to go to a pop
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
There's the
This monetary exchange is complete fiction.
the division is literally peppered
it's
with locations that will give a cop
It's
a
an
Twinkie.
AM/PM. Every AM/PM is a pop spot.
Yeah, the other thing is when he was at the
And if you don't know what a pop spot is,
When
free
he was-
free food, free
when he was
drinks.
buying his shit, his tie bar was all fucked up. And then by
Well,
the time he got to the door, it was nice and
I
straight.
mean, okay, I love Al Powell, but he is a bit of a soup sandwich.
No, but I'm saying it was nice and straight when he walked 3 feet away.
yeah, for sure. Now, okay, you get dispatched to Nakatomi Plaza. Are you going to
Right
throw
there-
your Twinkies in the car and then step away
And
and
look
look
at
at the building?
Honestly, I would have dispoed the call right there. Yep, code 4. Looks good.
Except for the flashes on the roof.
But those were the strobe lights.
Those strobe lights.
No,
No.
that was straight gunfire.
No, that was
You can
gunfire.
see the gunfire.
No, that was gunfire.
They look like
No,
look,
look,
the strobe.
it's the strobe lights for the helipad.
No, they're flashing.
You can see the gunfire.
Ninja, back it up. There's no
flashing.
gunfire, and it is strobe lights. So that's why he doesn't see the gunfire is because of the strobe lights.
Negative.
Oh shit.
You went back
went
way
way
too far.
Yeah, no, keep talking.
way
Sorry.
too far. So Al Powell goes
Okay,
up.
So first of all, they call it a code 2. They were really good. 8L30.
Yes.
Respond to the code 2.
Okay, so let's back up. 8L30 is correct.
Yes.
Because
West
It's
LA.
in West LA.
West LA division
One-man
is
car.
the 8 is station number 8.
Yep.
A one-man car because he's a
Is an L
sergeant
car.
is an L car.
Century City is in
30
West LA.
is
Is a supervisor.
supervisor. So 8 Lincoln 30 or 8L30, they used the right fucking call sign, ladies and gentlemen. One of the few times.
Yeah. and you pulled it out and stepped all over it when you said respond to a code 2.
Exactly. Because code 2, well,
Means go straight there.
Yeah.
Don't do anything else.
Right.
You got nothing else to do.
you don't
Just
respond
everything else.
to a code 2. You respond code
Code
2
Right.
to something.
A code 30 in this case.
Right, a code 30.
So 8L30 respond to the code 30.
Yeah. All
Maybe
right.
that was the problem.
So someone heard that and said, "No, that sounds
just-
doesn't
That sounds
sound right."
stupid.
That just sounds stupid.
You could have just said, see the man at the corner of walk and don't walk and gone the Adam 12 route. So he drives right to Nakatomi Plaza. He's literally 5 minutes away, right? And he gets to Nakatomi Plaza. I had an issue with the fact that he literally drives right the fuck up to the front door. And at least Bruce Willis was like, who's driving this car? Stevie Wonder. But
Did he say that?
Yeah,
he
he
did.
did. He did.
Oh, I didn't catch
He
that.
kept
did
on
say
going
that.
around the
Yeah.
round.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did say that.
Dude, fucked up, Joe.
like you park, you get the fuck out, you walk up to the door. Right?
In
you
theory.
don't drive around the roundabout like 4 times?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he was dispoing it on the way. Just saying. He could have
Well,
been.
if you're John, you
You look at
dispo
me
it
like-
before you
I
even
would have
get there.
dispoed it from the AM/PM. Looks
I
good to
don't
me.
know. I don't know of a 7-Eleven or a liquor store in Century City. Do you? That close to the plaza?
No.
AM PM?
Nope.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there's a
88?
scene where Bruce Willis looks out of the window and sees a woman changing in the high-rise building next to Nakatomi Plaza. And yet every establishing shot of Nakatomi Plaza shows there are not one fucking high-rise anywhere near that building for him to look at another woman
This is true.
through the window of. So, let's not worry about geography, I guess.
Right. Okay,
So-
so just to stick to the timeline. So, anyways, he shows up. He walks in, sees it looks it looks normal. Everything seems to be okay. walks out, gets in his car, and now Bruce Willis has already engaged in another firefight.
Yeah.
And with one of those lovely gentlemen, throws him out of the window he's been trying to break and get his attention with.
Well, so he starts with engaging Alexander Gutenoff, Carl, Sweatpants' brother,
Right.
and his other two buddies, the Mr. Long Hair Rocker dude. And that's when they catch him because Hans hears him on the radio talking from the roof, and he sends them up to the roof to catch him because he must be broadcasting from the roof. And so they go up to catch him, and they get the drop on him and start shooting at him. And so that's when he starts like shooting his way out of it, and he goes through the fan. Like he stops a fan with his hand, like a big giant industrial fan, and he stops it and he climbs through. And then he decides to escape through an elevator shaft into an air duct.
Right.
And uses the MP5 as a grappling hook and the sling as a rope. Okay. So he goes into the elevator or into the air duct from the elevator shaft, and he stretches he pulls the stock. The only person who pulls the stock out of
to not shoot, but
right,
to use it as a wedge.
To use it
for
as
the
a
fan.
freaking grappling hook or as a wedge. So he's got the strap. Now the strap gives way. I would have thought the stock would have given way.
If you watch, it does start to bend.
It does.
Yeah.
But it holds, and then the strap slides out of the strap
Out of the ring. Yeah.
ring. I would think that those two thin ass, less than a half an inch thick steel bars holding the stock on would have given way under his 200-pound ass. But that's just me. Now, what I found fascinating about this is if you watch the scene, he's there, he's about to fall. And then just as the gun gives way, he leaps for the other duct.
He misses it.
And misses it. And then grabs the one right below it. Well, the script, as JR likes to point out, doesn't have him missing it. The fucking stuntman missed and fell all the way down that fucking shaft. But the editor went, dude, that shot looks really cool. So all you got to do is film an insert of Bruce Willis grabbing the edge of another shaft, and we'll pretend he grabbed the shaft right below it. So the shot that you're watching in the film
Oh, it was an accident.
is the stuntman falling 30 feet down a fucking shaft, I think onto an airbag, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
But he did miss. He just literally missed, and it's a fuck up.
Fuck that.
But they left it in. Oh, yeah, well, you're not a stuntman. So he grabs it, and then he in one of the greatest scenes in this movie, he climbs into the air duct and proceeds to give a sarcastic monologue. Come out to the coast, get together, have a few laughs. Which I still love this.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Christmas ornaments that it's Bruce Willis, a picture of Bruce Willis in a little metal box that you hang from your tree? Yeah, it is starting to give away. That's true.
Yeah, it was bending. Okay, so basically he's got his whole getaway through the air ducts.
And let's go ahead and compare the length of the strap that he's holding into that air duct.
Air dict? Where's your head at?
With the sling that was on the MP5.
Right. Yeah.
Only like quadruple the length.
That's the longest MP5 single or 2-point sling in the history of 2-point slings.
So they see the light. Mm-hmm. They see the light from his...
Oh, that's how. Fucking,
above
they're above him. They see the light. That's how they track him so fast.
Through his lighter.
Yeah.
Through his Zippo. And they go down there. Now they're looking at the ducks on the... I'm going to go with 30th floor because now it looks like they're at the business district. I like to call it the business district.
Yeah, the Takagi death floor.
Right.
By the way, his brains... That does a lot of brains for a little HK Squeezecocker on that door, but...
Yeah, and really that goes for any part of the body that was shot in this movie. Literally, the limbs just explode.
Yeah, people just explode. There's literally...
But that was the time frame,
rounds.
too, with
Yeah,
the
true.
movies.
Okay.
So anyways, they shoot into the air ducts, miss them. They get called off, and now Bruce continues.
Yeah.
And pretty much we'll get to the part where he gets into another shootout, takes one of the bodies, throws it out of the window.
Yeah, so he's in that conference room, and I'll take a little I'm gonna take a little moment because our friend of the podcast, Larry Zanoff, who is an armorer for film and television. He's also on a show called Hollywood Weapons, and they on an episode of Hollywood Weapons did that thing with the table. So Bruce Willis is climbing into the table, and the bad guy's on top of the table. He's chasing him. My first issue is that table zigzags, right?
Yeah.
So when you watch Bruce Willis trying to stay under the table, there are plenty of moments where the fucking terrorist on top of the table has a clear shot at Bruce Willis as the table jigs or zigs the other way and could just aim at the direction Bruce Willis is about to go and shoot him.
Right.
But I digress. He chases him to the end of this conference table, this zigzaggy conference table, and then he shoots at him, right? And then Bruce Willis empties his Beretta 92 through the table into the terrorist, killing him.
Into his knees.
Into his knees. So Hollywood Weapons actually tested this. And I spoke to Larry today because Larry had a couple of choice words to say. So I want to share what Larry Zanoff said about this. So I took a little time, and I am here at ISS with the one and only Larry Zanoff from Hollywood Weapons. And for the podcast listeners, Hollywood Weapons did an episode where they tested some stuff from Die Hard. And I wanted to talk to Larry because he had some thoughts about one of the tests they did. Correct?
Yeah, actually, I mean, I have some thoughts about all the tests that we did.
Right.
But you were asking about a specific one, the conference table, shooting up through the bottom of the conference table at the bad guy. And we did that, and we did it quite successfully, but the results were a little bit different than I had expected. In the movie, of course, it appears to be this highly expensive, kind of conference table, but yet every single bullet that he fires seems to go through the table.
Right.
And one of the things that we found out is no matter how expensive these tables are, it's hard to find one that's actually like solid oak or something like that. They're all a kind of particle board that's just got a nice veneer on it. And so bullets actually go through it fairly easily. And what happens is, when you're rapid firing, you don't get individual bullet hits like you see in the film. You wind up with like 2 or 3 kind of keyholing together, and then you got this giant hole in the middle of the table.
Almost like a gun port.
Almost like a gun port. Now, of course, he was kind of crawling and advancing as he was going, so that might have spread the shots out a little bit. But more often than not, with 15 rounds going out of the gun at the same time, you're actually having several bullet holes going through a hole that you've already punched in the table, which actually makes it a little bit more believable that he could have killed the bad guy on top of the table, but visually it wasn't quite the same as in the movie.
So it was interesting that he basically said, oh yeah, it would work, just not the way they showed it.
Yeah.
So he then takes that guy, and because Powell's leaving saying, oh, fuck this, I'm out.
Right.
Then
Launches him out of the window.
You had an issue
with the window.
Yeah. Yeah. So the windows, obviously they're made in various grades and everything. So if you build a high-rise building in, let's say, Beaumont, Texas, or Miami, Florida, that window is going to sustain hurricane force winds. Not only hurricane force winds, but things being
Debris.
projected through the air by hurricane force winds.
Sure.
Like, I don't know, cars,
Trees,
trees,
cows.
Yeah. So to be able to take a folding chair or whatever object you can find in one of those structures and break that window out like that, come on, man.
Well, okay, so check this out. If you want to have a laugh, go watch the making of Die Hard, and you'll see how many fucking times Bruce, the crew is laughing because he could not break the window with the chair.
Yeah.
And they all anticipate, you just, nope. Yeah. There was no breaking because you're right. It is insanely hard. And we'll talk about that because there's 2 scenes with the windows. 1, he puts something out a window, and 2, he goes
Gets back in.
through.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in a minute because Larry had something else to say about that. So what happens next? He throws the bad guy out of the window, and god damn it, that is some great aim if you can get the bad guy.
Lands directly on top of the hood of his black and white, and he throws in a reverse for thirst. Good, there you go, 7-Up.
and let me tell you, Al Powell is literally conditioned brown, man.
But here's the thing.
He is.
So they had to have already been setting up on him to kill him, which doesn't make any sense if he was leaving, because the second the body hit the car, they opened up on him with a 240 out of the fucking like 20th
M60.
floor.
Yeah.
Oh, was it a 60?
Yeah, it's older.
Okay, so a 60.
Yeah, A1.
But I think the idea was if something happened and he didn't go away quietly, they were going to wax him. Yeah. And
could
he
be.
was going
Could
away
be.
quietly. It was all good. And then as soon as the body hits, they're like, fuck, just wax him, because they didn't want him doing what he did.
Right.
I think that's why. Now, there's no explanation. But he's covered in Twinkie as he gets out of the car. So the reporter, Dick Thornburg.
Yeah, Dick Thornburg, he hears basically the help call come out via...
Fucking reporters.
It was actually assistance.
Oh, officer needs
Which
assistance.
should have been a help call, because I think he asked for assistance and backup, if I recall correctly.
I think what he said is, I need help, and Duncan told me now. God damn it, now. So really, you can say whatever you want.
Well, he put them all three. So he got the help, he got the backup, and he needed the assistance. So he got them all covered, at least at one point.
This is pretty much the point where, from a law enforcement stance, the movie completely falls apart.
Correct.
Fuck yeah, let's go. Let's do this.
So you have obviously the LAPD response. They're basically shutting down streets and they're surrounding the place, and now they're basically formulating a plan on what they're gonna do. So as they're formulating a plan, you've got, who was it? The deputy chief. What do you call himself?
Deputy Chief
Robinson.
Dwayne T. Robinson.
That's right.
Yeah, they had that pretty well squared away.
Yeah, I was going to say that was probably the most factual part of the movie.
The chief showing up and being a piece of shit. Yeah.
My favorite part, and yet I think they wish it was this way, is the way he wheels up in the car and he's in the back seat with a driver.
I didn't notice that.
It's awesome.
He's somebody.
Well, so let's back up, because the cops start arriving. If you remember, the streets are empty and they're riding. The cops are rolling up like 4 or 5 cars deep, and they get halfway down the middle of the street, and for no reason, power slide, J-turn, form a line of cars and skid to a stop like
They're
what?
establishing a
It's
roadblock.
A couple of miles from the
it's-
building.
It's West LA Division. I don't have to say anymore.
Okay, for those of you in LA, just understand that's West LA training. Slide into a stop about a mile from the building and wait. But here's my question for you, LAPD coppers. Is Deputy Chief Dwayne Robinson really going to roll out? And if so, that fucking fast?
He just happened to be in the area.
I guess.
Well, I mean, you would know more about CPs than me, but yeah, I've seen Commander.
I mean, Commander.
Yeah, so
sure.
So at this point, he would be like a bureau commander, like
Yeah.
West Bureau
I could
Commander would
see-
be a deputy chief.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
He just happened to be at a Christmas party down the street.
Yeah, or at his girlfriend's house.
All right.
Girlfriend's house down the street.
Oh, yeah. She's probably a sergeant.
What? She's probably a sergeant.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you was a dispatcher.
Oh, yeah. He just dropped her off. He just dropped her off at work.
Yeah, she'll be a sergeant by the end of the month.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
So now you've got SWAT doing their whole shindig and surrounding the place. You've got them wheeling out these big spotlights and lighting up the entire building, while news is getting a hold of all of this.
Yeah, and Hans reveals that this is all part of the plan.
Part of the plan.
But it does lead to one of the greatest scenes in action movie history, where Hans and John talk
Face to face.
on the radio
Oh,
first.
not there yet? Yeah.
Yeah, on the radio. And he
Yeah,
says,
you're right.
"Are you Rambo or one of these American cowboys, John Wayne?" And he says, "I'm partial to Roy Rogers. Do you really think you can do anything? Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker." Which was completely improvised by Bruce Willis and became probably one of the most famous action movie lines of
It has
all
stuck around forever.
time.
Yeah.
Even if you've never seen Die Hard, you've heard "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker." So I to this day, it's still one of the coolest things to say in any action movie. So Powell and McClane get on the radio.
Yeah, so now they're talking to each other.
Right.
And he's basically giving them a shortened and quick debrief of
Right.
what's going on.
Down and dirty
Yeah.
debrief.
And you've got the Sarge basically saying, okay. And then you've got awesome Deputy Chief Dick saying, well, I need to talk to him, and this is bullshit, and how do you even know? And I'm tactical, and I know everything, and yada yada yada. And basically, he's basically screwing up everything that they've got going on. So once they have the lights positioned,
They got a bunch of spotlights pretty damn quick.
Yeah, they did.
and they're fucking
Not a
huge.
tow vehicle in sight.
Not a
Not
tow vehicle.
one.
No.
But
Not
somehow they
one
got
tow
it from
vehicle
Hollywood
in sight.
Boulevard and got them all over there to Century
I think
City.
Hollywood is the key word.
Hollyweird, yeah. And that's that's what, a good 6 searchlights?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I don't know how many LAPD even owns, if any.
None.
Right. So they would have to call somebody and have them, brought out, and
General Services will be there tomorrow.
pretty goddamn fast. So he's McClane's working through like the tactical debrief of who these guys are to Powell, and Powell's now all of a sudden Powell's like sharp. Powell, like, the crash jarred him back into full on cop mode because Powell's like now thinking like a cop instead of thinking like a
slob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dwayne T. Robinson is ready to take command, right? But, I mean, it's admin, so he's going to fuck it up no matter what.
Right. And which he did. He
Right.
did fuck it up.
Right.
He's basically telling everybody that SWAT needs to go in and they need to do their thing and blah, 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 blah. He didn't even realize he thought he was being shot at, and really they were just shooting at the lights at some point.
Yeah, so that's the first thing. I mean, obviously we've established because where the fuck did the lights come from? But the SWAT commander's like, it's just panic fire. They don't know what they're shooting at. So Sergeant Al Powell knows enough to know they're shooting at the lights, whereas the SWAT commander can't figure out that they're shooting at the lights.
He was too busy using the word reconnoiter.
Using the word reconnoiter takes a lot of brain power.
Begin your reconnoiter.
And the best part is the deputy chief, when he shows up, he's
holds
got
his
his badge
badge
out,
up.
like he's
I know.
holding it to the other cops, like
Like, they
we
don't
know
know
who
who the
you are. But you know what? I bet you they would do some shit.
You know
like
what?
that.
You're right. That's the second most realistic part of this movie.
Dumb.
So so let's talk about it. He has the SWAT team assault the building right off the bat.
No, they're just reconnoitering.
Yeah.
Reconnoitering with an oxyacetylene backpack.
Well, yeah.
Plus, I don't think he's making that decision in real life.
With the one-seater APC, by the way.
Well, okay. So I wanted to talk about you've got the bad guys. The hacker tech guy goes, "We have the cops coming up in standard 2x2 formation." What the fuck is a standard 2x2 formation?
I don't know,
Four
because
guys
they
sprinting.
because it just looks like they're just running across.
Literally,
the
it's
field.
4 guys running across open terrain. So let's forget about the fact that you have 4 SWAT guys just running across open terrain. One of whom is carrying an oxyacetylene rig on his back.
Yeah, JR, I had
Then
respect for you guys until I saw this movie.
This is the most realistic SWAT movie ever.
Pretty much.
I think the 1970s Hondo did a better job.
Pretty much.
I just want one of those
Honda,
SWAT
yeah.
beanies.
I know, right? Those are dope. So, okay. So now, does anybody else notice? Because I've always wondered about this, and maybe
Do you
JR
have a SWAT beanie?
It gets cold out there.
So maybe this is a SWAT thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm fucked up. Maybe you can answer this for me. Why take an oxyacetylene torch to open a glass fucking door?
It's in the script.
That's always like I've always
because the SWAT commander wouldn't have been able to say burn it. He would have had to say something else like crash it, break it.
Well, okay, so to be
rake
fair,
it.
the SWAT commander, break and rake is cool.
I know, right.
But the SWAT commander says, burn it, and Dwayne T. Robinson sends him in, kick ass.
Yeah.
He literally says, kick ass, as they run towards the building.
Right.
So, best SWAT tactics ever? Is that what we're saying?
Can we get to the car yet?
Oh, we're there.
The one-man APC?
So,
Yeah.
so they get to the
Sit in the
door.
car.
So they get to the door. Now, I've seen that APC. That was a real
No.
thing, right?
No.
No?
That is an M8 Greyhound.
Yeah, that's
Which
Okay.
You notice it has 6 wheels. We had 2 V100s, which had 4 wheels.
Okay, so the one I saw, because I was a kid.
And a long
and
arm
I
with a
s-
happy face.
Okay,
Yeah. When you were living in a crack house.
Yeah.
So it comes in the front windows.
yeah, they come.
morning.
No, I remember being a kid. I went with my dad, and that thing was parked below Parker Center or wherever it was, and I think, oh, that's so cool. That's the thing from Die Hard. But I didn't know to look at the.
That's an M8 Greyhound. That
Okay,
was actually
so-
an Army surplus.
So that's not the not the real APC that LAPD had.
If
Okay,
you look up the picture.
is the one that LAPD had better than that one?
Yeah.
Or or similar.
Yeah.
Same. 6 of one, half dozen the other.
Just
Okay.
big, heavy metal thing.
So they drive the response time of the APC.
It did bounce off the stairs like a fucking basketball.
It did.
I'm just saying.
Oh, he got
Like
hung
a
up on that
roadblock.
railing
Yeah.
like a boss.
I don't even know what it was intending to do, and it just hit those stairs like wham! I'm gonna stop right
I'm
here.
gonna ram those stairs.
I own those stairs.
That's right. So he says send in the car. Sends in the APC.
Send in the car.
Right. Sends in the APC. For what? I'm not quite sure at this point because the SWAT.
Well,
firstly,
obviously to block the stairs.
but the SWAT cops are getting fired at, and for some reason Hans says just wound him, which
Right.
always like really.
But the best part
Burn the fucking dudes in the APC with a missile, but
Yeah.
just wound the SWAT guys at the front door.
and he did. He wounded just all. He just wounded all of them.
Wounded all of them, right? And so the APC goes into what? Tactical extraction?
Stair block.
Tactical stair block. Yeah.
Tactical stair block.
Tactical stairwell.
So this was, and maybe you guys can answer this, but again, I spoke to Larry about the quote unquote Stinger missile that we can now discuss because they break out this Stinger missile and it's got a tripod that they use a concrete 22 caliber nail gun to
redhead.
bolt to the floor,
Yeah.
which I've never seen. And then they fire what looks to be a shoulder-fired Stinger missile from a tripod that does nothing. Because it's still shoulder-fired.
Yes.
Okay. So we're all on the same page. And then they fire the Stinger missile at the APC, and it looks to completely blow up and incinerate. Only then when the fire dies down, it's still there.
Hit it again.
So they hit it again. No, God damn it, no. Hit it again. No, God damn it, no. Hit it again. And they blow it up again.
Yeah.
I always thought, well,
Anything worth doing is worth doing.
wouldn't
twice.
that missile blow it up the first fucking time?
Yes, it would.
However, I did talk to Larry, and he said, theoretically, Stingers are designed to take down aircraft, and aircraft are much more fragile than APCs. So there is a possibility that the APC might survive the first blast from an anti-aircraft missile because it's only designed to take down aircraft. What say you, JR?
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah. Stingers have like a, and first of all, at this day and age, this wouldn't have been a Stinger, it would have been a Red Eye, which was the predecessor of the Stinger.
And maybe that's why it doesn't
If we're
exactly
gonna rip
look
this
like a
thing-
Stinger.
If we're going to shred this thing to parts,
Fucking
let's just
shred it.
Oh,
Oh, by the way, wait. We just passed the part where the SWAT guy runs through the fucking rose bushes and gets pricked by the.
Oh, and he goes,
that's
ow.
my favorite part.
Oh, that's so
Ow.
good.
That is the most realistic part of the movie, by the way. As far as the SWAT thing goes, that's it right there. That's
But
it.
I love
Everything
that they
Ow.
left like the bad guy eating the candy bar, the SWAT guy getting pricked by the roses. That those little moments make
Speaking
this.
of bad guys, this guy, this Asian guy eating the candy bar,
the
he's
one who
in-
tortured Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
and
he's
yeah.
a bad guy in every kung fu movie known to man.
Yeah,
He is.
you need
It's
a
the
bad
Fu
Asian
Manchu.
dude.
He's
Yeah.
got the most legit one.
You get that guy.
Yeah. So a Stinger or Red Eye, any of those anti-aircraft missiles, they have a very small warhead. It's like 2 or 3 pounds. It's like nothing. And what they do is they go up and they explode in proximity of the aircraft. And all it takes is a little bit of shrapnel to take an aircraft down.
Right. It's not
Literally, you can stand in front of a running jet engine and throw like 2
A bird.
bolts into the
Yeah.
engine, and you're going to take the whole airplane down.
Right.
So that's all it's really meant to do. So Larry's right. I mean, it probably wouldn't have caused much damage to an armored vehicle.
because
but-
they're meant to withstand explosions.
explosions.
Yeah.
Yes. See how that works? But on that same vein, it wouldn't have caused that big fiery deflagration that you see in the movie. So, it's Hollywood.
Well, we've established.
Yeah, it's in the script.
It's in the script.
It's in the script.
So the armed personnel carrier gets blown up twice. And then what happens, John?
So basically, you got computer hacker dude, giving out locations and whatnot as this is going on. And then Bruce has the bright idea to toss some explosives down an elevator shaft.
Yeah, so he
Hooked
stole
up
the
to a
detonators in the
computer.
C4.
Yeah. Right? It was a computer? Is that
Yeah.
what he was like
well,
a monitor?
he straps the C4 brick and he pokes him with like 4 detonators.
Yeah. which you
Actually,
only
it
need
was
one.
3, and he
Yeah.
said, fuck it.
Fuck
and then
it.
put it in.
Put it
for
in.
the one.
You only need one.
And then he takes the monitor, unplugs it. Now, I kind of think this might work.
Why?
Well,
Why,
so
why do you need the monitor is my question.
well, okay, so aren't they electronic detonators? They need a electric charge.
No,
Well, they need to be plugged in at that time.
So there's two types of those are blasting caps.
Yeah.
Let's just
Right.
go ahead and call it what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
There's two types of blasting caps. There's non-electric blasting caps. There's electric blasting caps.
Right.
I don't know what kind he had here. I'm assuming they're electric blasting caps.
Right.
Only thing I can think the monitor was for was weight.
Okay, so I always got that because they're
Ballast,
electronic
maybe?
blasting caps, the monitor stores a charge. He unplugs it, but the transistor or whatever the electronics, because they always tell you don't take apart monitors because they still hold a charge even after you unplug them. So the monitor still holds a charge, and so as soon as the monitor gets smashed going down that elevator shaft, it releases the electrical charge that it has stored up in it, and that goes through the electronic blasting caps and blows up the C4. That's why I always thought he did it.
You should get a job in Hollywood somehow.
Oh,
like
yeah.
some sort of like ancillary kind of a Hollywood.
Maybe
kind
if
of
I,
thing. That's awesome.
like researching
That's
stuff.
great.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah.
That was I always thought because he doesn't have any ignition source on the blasting caps.
Yeah.
Except the monitor, and I know monitors do hold TVs and monitors hold
Hey,
a
you know
charge
what?
after they're unplugged.
Let's go with that.
All right, well, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Let's
Fuck it.
rock with that.
All right, woohoo! I'm glad we figured that out. Moving on. We have. He drops the bomb down. He blows up like the entire bottom floor of the building with one brick of C4. I call bullshit. One brick of C4, the entire bottom floor.
Was it just one?
It looked like it was just one.
It looked like one.
One, and it
I don't
wasn't
know if
even
he
like
had more
a
in the
full
bag.
long. It was like
So it's
2
basically
sticks
a
of
pound, right?
Yeah, it was a pound. It looked
it's
like a pound.
A,
Yeah.
pound. A pound of C4 is a hell of a lot of explosive.
to blow the entire bottom floor of a building in. I mean, I've never played with C4, so
I'm not
It's
saying it
excessive.
couldn't do it, but the way it exploded,
Right.
was probably not
That
realistic.
building should have come down.
Yeah.
way
Yeah,
it exploded.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he sets it off down the elevator, and thus begins the greatest bromance in Hollywood history between Detective John McClane and Sergeant Al Powell. They bond, and Al Powell tells him something that we didn't know, which is he can't draw his gun because he shot a kid. That's probably one of the most real scenes in this movie is, this guy admitting like a deep, dark secret that he probably wouldn't even tell the police shrink about the shooting he got into where he accidentally shot a kid and has a hard time drawing his weapon.
But yet he'll broadcast it over the air for
Hence
everyone.
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 Yeah,
Everyone.
hence my issue with it is the timing in which he chooses to admit that doesn't lend itself to the greatest thing. Then he breaks in. Gruber breaks in because he has the douchebag cokehead in there, and the audience thinks, "Oh my God, he's found his wife!" But no, the cokehead is pretending to be John's buddy to try and be the hero of the day. And in one of the coolest scenes, realizes that these guys are real bad guys, and they fucking kill him.
Yes.
Which
As they should.
As they should. I mean, let's face it. If Hans does any, public service during this movie, it's probably shooting that douchebag, right? So things go sideways when he dies, and Chief Dwayne Robinson, because never let admin get in the way of a good tactical operation, calls in the FBI, and we get the second
The
greatest,
Johnson brothers.
the second
Yeah,
greatest.
Johnson and Johnson.
So basically, Gruber gives Chief Robinson fake terrorist demands, and that causes him to call in the FBI, in which you get agents Johnson and Johnson, no relation. They give the FBI way too much goddamn power in this movie.
As usual.
Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong. The FBI comes in, and they say, "We're taking over." Yeah, because
Two guys.
two guys, right? But they're taking over. Then McClane goes up to the roof, and Hans goes up to the roof to check the explosives. Now you wonder to yourself, why would the leader go up to the roof to check the explosives? Well, to your point, JR, because the director said we need to have a scene where the bad guy and the good guy meet face to face. Now, the interesting thing about this is the way they figured out how it was going to happen was an accident as a result of being on set eating dinner, because apparently they were having craft service or they were having catering or whatever, and somebody asked Alan Rickman if he could do an American accent, and he said no, but I can do a California accent. and he started doing his California accent. It made everybody crack up, and the director was like, wait a minute, that's perfect. So if we get him away from the terrorists and he runs into McClane somewhere for some reason, and we have him do his California accent, he can pretend to be one of the hostages. And you get McClane, because the whole thing was, how do you get these two to meet face to face when they know each other's voices? McClane would just shoot him on sight. Well, if when the guy talks, he doesn't recognize his voice, he's never seen his face, so they can have a scene together.
So speaking of shooting on sight, why does Hans Gruber take his HKP7 and like stick it on the backside of like one of the rooftop air conditioning units?
So if I
mean, other than it's in the script.
Well, if I read it correctly, the way McClane had him dead to rights, he had it behind there, and he had to leave it there because if he'd have pulled it out, if he'd have tried to put it in his waistband or hide it or anything, McClane would have shot him.
Oh, no.
No, that was before.
Remember, Hans Gruber jumps down behind McClane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And McClane spins around. So he's already there. And then Hans Gruber actually tries to reach back to get it.
Behind him, yeah.
So he
can't
set
get
it
to it.
down to jump down?
So
Well,
it
he
would
set
seem-
it down to go in
Right.
before he knew he was even there.
You're right. I don't know. I'd have to look at that again because I remember like thinking there is a reason why he put it down. Like he had to he needed two hands for something. I don't know. Why you wouldn't put it in his waistband, I don't know.
Or his pocket.
Or his
a
pocket.
holster or
Because it's a
whatever.
P7. It's not very big.
Yeah.
It's a fucking squeeze cocker.
Right.
So McClane and Gruber have a conversation, and Gruber pretends to be from California. And McClane figures out, hands him his gun. You all think McClane's screwed. And then when Gruber goes to kill McClane, guess what? No bullets. So how did McClane figure out Gruber was the bad guy? I know the answer, but I'm curious to see if you guys have an idea.
I actually never really thought about it.
I think it was a shitty accent.
Well,
Shitty California accent. Right. Thinking he opened his mouth and be like,
right, he's like,
fucking
fuck
German.
this guy. So in a deleted scene, he takes notice of the watch that Hans is wearing because there was a scene that they took out where all the terrorists synchronized their watches and they're all wearing the same watch. So he kills one terrorist, sees the watch he's wearing, and he sees that Hans is wearing the same European watch and realizes, fuck him, he's one of the terrorists. No. They deleted that out, but you know what's funny is my whole life growing up, I never really questioned it. I just figured he's smart enough to know this dickbag's a terrorist. So Hans and Carl, Sweatpants' brother,
Right.
the ballet dancer, they
Luford.
try to kill McClane because they need to get the detonators back. Because apparently, during one of the gun battles, the C4 that he took and the blasting caps that he took are very important to their plan. And McClane's got that stuff, so they try to kill him and ended up shooting in an office setting, shooting out all the glass because he knows McClane's not wearing any shoes. I don't know where that idea comes from, but one thing I did like was that they showed McClane laying down and shooting under the desks to shoot at the. And that's one of the tactics that is taught but never shown in a lot of these movies, where if there's a gap underneath something, you shoot underneath it.
Yeah.
The problem is he didn't hit nobody.
Well, the Hollywood shootout was a good example of that.
Yeah, and he's just wasting ammo. He's just they're all wasting ammo in this.
But they've got those 120 round clips.
Yes,
Right.
right, exactly.
I like seeing
that they load around into.
Well,
every
it's
single
Die Hard.
time.
It's a clip.
It is a clip.
Right. It's not a magazine because there's 120 rounds in it.
Yeah.
So they get the detonators back, right? And they don't kill McClane. McClane gets away, cuts the shit out of his feet. But in what ended up being an improvised scene, McClane talks to Powell on the radio and starts kind of crying as he's pulling the glass out of his foot and telling Powell to tell his wife he loves him in case he doesn't make it out of it, which is a really good scene. I mean, acting wise, I don't know about police tactics, but acting wise, it's a good scene. And then Holly figures out that John is still alive because Carl gets fucking pissed. And she's like, only John could piss somebody off like that, which, being your co-host on this podcast, I understand that. Only John can piss somebody off like that.
Yeah.
So now Hans has the detonators back. John's feet are all cut to shit.
Right.
And the FBI is in charge.
Right.
So this is where, I mean, you thought the SWAT attack was where it went off the rails. I mean, it goes really off the rails at this point, JR, because now you got the FBI executing the standard terrorism playbook of cutting the power
Yep.
at the street,
Yep.
which then cuts the circuit to the vault and allows it to magically open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, if they were that
Why not?
sophisticated, why didn't they figure that out in the beginning?
Yeah. I mean, he had to wait for
The FBI to
the
do
FBI
it?
to do it.
Well, the theory is all along is Hans Gruber knows the
That the
FBI is
FBI's
going to do it,
playbook, right.
And he was playing the whole thing along until the FBI showed up because he knew the FBI was
Was
going
going
to
to do it.
Now, the FBI ordering a city employee to cut the power, or is he going to have him fired? I don't want to talk about that.
He could order, a tax audit, which is
Right.
just as bad
Right.
sometimes. So.
I think it's worse. I might rather be fired. And Dwayne Robinson being really scared of the FBI. It's just, ladies and gentlemen, especially pre 9/11, if you weren't a kidnapper or a bank robber,
No, the FBI would have never come in town on this.
no, not at all.
Unless you're
So,
part of the Royal Communist Party. They've been all over that shit.
really?
Yes.
For sure. So they follow the terrorism playbook. They shut off the power to the building. And once the power is cut, the vault magically opens because that was the 7th lock. And I know most electronic safes, when you cut the power, they just open.
They just open up.
Yeah, that's how it works. So then the FBI decides to call in helicopters because they want to get the hostages off the roof via helicopter. When the FBI says, fuck it, we're going to get Hueys with M60 door gunners and a sniper rifle.
And 2.75-inch rockets. Don't forget that.
Right.
Because it looks
'Cause-
like a transport helicopter.
Yeah, and
Right.
Posse Comitatus be damned.
Wait, you going to explain that one or no?
Oh, Posse Comitatus?
Yeah.
That the federal law enforcement, actually, the military can't be used to enforce law inside the CONUS.
Correct.
Right.
So, interesting fact about the helicopter shot. So, John McTiernan went to the city of LA and said, I need like 8 hours. No, he said, I need 3 days to do this helicopter shot. And the city of LA said, you get 2 hours. And he goes, I need 3 days. He goes, you have 2 hours. He goes, okay, we'll do it in 2 hours. They did one take. And the helicopters were so fucking loud going through downtown LA that LAPD got so many calls that the city then called the movie production and said, you're done. And he went, what? You gave me 2 hours. It's been 30 minutes. He's like, no, you're done. So the take that you see in this movie is literally the only take they got. They set up like 30 cameras on the way from where the helicopters launched to the Fox building, and whatever footage they got, they cut together because the city goes, no, they're too fucking loud. You gotta, no, you're done.
Oh, they did a good job.
Yeah. So it's pretty impressive for knowing that what they were up against. M60s, really? And I mean, no, no, that's just never going to happen. Right?
No.
Okay, good. And then the bad guy's plan is to blow the roof with the hostages on it
And the helicopters.
and kill the FBI guys, which
Johnson & Johnson.
Johnson, no relation.
Yeah.
Right. The amazing magical compressing ambulance comes out of the van because
Inflatable.
the inflatable compressing ambulance comes out of the van, and Argyle finally proves why he's been waiting this whole time.
Just
to-
stuck in the
Little-
downstairs fucking
little
parking
more,
lot.
some black on black crime, because Argyle knocks out the tech guy driving
In
the
one
ambulance
punch.
in one punch
through the window
Well, he's
on his
Argyle.
tippy
It's Argyle.
toes.
It's Argyle.
I feel you.
So that leads to what arguably is one of my favorite scenes in the movie, which is McClane now has to confront Gruber, who's taken Holly hostage because he's figured out that Holly is McClane's wife. And we see in a real quick shot right before McClane confronts the bad guys that he's got what? No rounds in the MP5 and 2 rounds in his Beretta. So you see what looks like a zombie John McClane step out of the light into the vault with an MP5 that we all as the audience know is empty. And Gruber's got a gun to Holly's head. and then the other Huey Lewis bad guy
Looking at the other MP5.
looking at the
yeah.
MP5 hanging on the rack. You know, they do the usual bad guy chit chat.
Build it up.
Holly,
Build it up.
Yeah, build it up. And in what I thought as a young man, and now as an adult, I still think it's cool. McClane taped his goddamn gun to his back. So when he puts his hands up behind his head, his hands are within inches of his Beretta. But the audience doesn't know
Which
that.
is similar to what movie? Do you guys remember?
Tell me.
Do you guys remember in Braveheart with the axe he had?
Yes. Very good. Yeah,
Same
but he
thing.
didn't have it taped.
Not taped, but same idea.
Same idea. So as soon as the gun gets into a position where he can kill him, he screams her name, and apparently she knows that screaming Holly means get the fuck down. 'Cause I'm gonna
Pre-planned.
shoot this asshole. Which
Is
if-
always
if
good to
you're
have a
cop
plan,
and you're
by the way.
married,
Yeah.
that's not a bad idea. Also, do you ever notice that the tape is Christmas tape? It's like gift wrap tape. It says like season's greetings. So he shoots Hans and he shoots Huey Lewis, and he blows the fucking smoke out of the barrel.
I hate to be Johnny come lately. The HKP7 didn't have a threaded barrel.
Well, it was a special one.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
You know what, though? At least the gun went into slide lock.
It did.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So then he grabs Holly by the Rolex that they talked about and hangs out the window with her. And we forgot to talk about this, but the reason McClane got back in the building is because he jumped off the roof after it blew up and used a fire hose to swing off the building and shot the glass out. Well, Larry told me that when they tested that for Hollywood Weapons, it works. But it only works if you blow the glass out with the full magazine of the MP5 before you go through it.
Yeah.
But it does work. Yeah. So if the movie had shown him using the MP5, he would have been able to go through the glass. So now Gruber falls. Well, that's a great bit of acting by Alan Rickman, right? You see this great look on his face as he falls, only he's not acting. So Alan Rickman agreed to do the stunt, and they suspended him from a wire rig 40 feet in the air above an airbag. And the stunt coordinator said, "Okay, I'm gonna release you on 3." And then he goes, "Okay." And then he turns to the guy on the release button and he goes, "Do it on 2. 1, 2," and the guy hits the button on 2 instead of 3. So Alan Rickman's fucking look of shock and surprise at falling to his death is the look of shock and surprise at falling 40 feet 1 second
fuck
earlier
that
than
shit.
he expected. So he was a good fucking sport about it. Now John McClane's reunited with Holly, and there's carnage, just shitloads of carnage. He comes out, and I mean, this is the most bullshit moment, is where no self-respecting cop's going to be caught dead in a pair of turnouts.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
He's wearing a firefighter turnout. No. Holly's wearing a Tuffy's jacket, which is dope, but he's wearing turnouts, and he looks for his homie, Al. And in one of the greatest bromance moments, he doesn't have to talk to him. He just knows
That's my boy.
that's Al.
my
right?
boy, Blue.
And the laugh that he does when they finally hug. I do love this moment. It's just it is a great bromance moment when they hug and they laugh and they realize they made it out. But it's not to be long for a happy reunion, because Carl survived being hung during his fight with McClane and comes out under a blanket as if he's one of the victims, and then brings out the Excalibur of German automatic weapons, the Steyr, and opens fire. And McClane drops on Holly to cover her with his body, make sure she doesn't get killed. And Al, in a moment of bromance magic, pulls his service weapon and kills Carl once and for all, thus saving the day. Which means, as I was told by a close friend, Die Hard at its core is the heartwarming story of how a black cop learns to kill again.
I wasn't ready.
So, after that, Holly punches the news reporter out, they get in the limo with Argyle, and Let It Snow plays because it's a Christmas movie.
Right.
Credits.
And the rest is a sequel.
Yeah. Well, okay, Die Hard 2 is a good movie. Yeah. The
They're
rest
all
of
good
them,
movies. Yeah, not so much. Die
Not so
Hard with a
much.
Vengeance.
you know, the one that was in Washington, D.C. wasn't terrible, but the one in Russia and the one in New York were
Yeah.
awful. So Die Hard is great. Die Hard 2 is good. This is still one of my favorite action movies. So as a Christmas movie, it stands up. As an action movie, it stands up. As a movie with tactics, yeah, not so much. I mean, we all know John McClane should have killed some motherfuckers a little earlier.
Yeah.
Right? The SWAT team? No.
Yeah.
You know the most accurate portrayal of a cop in this movie? Chief Dwayne T.
Exactly.
Robinson.
Spot on. Spot on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the asshole reporter is probably
spot on.
Yeah, spot on. So now that we have covered Die Hard, what'd you guys think?
Look, there's that SWAT beanie again. I really like that SWAT beanie.
do you really, JR, do you have one?
Of course I
Oh,
do.
okay.
Wait, can we
Okay.
get
It's cold
can,
out
can we
there.
get some?
I'll see what I can do.
Are they special SWAT
See what I
beanies?
can
Can we
do.
have SWAT beanies?
Special SWAT
Special.
beanies?
I want a special SWAT beanie.
You just have to say special SWAT
Special
beanie.
SWAT beanie. Special SWAT beanie.
And they
Special
just
SWAT
appear.
beanie, Special SWAT beanie.
LAPD has an acronym that says B's.
Can I get mine that says Hondo?
You have to do the roll first.
Wait, do I have to turn my ball cap backwards?
Exactly.
Okay. I love that movie, and I'm glad we covered it. And
Great.
it's magical.
Yeah, no. Great movie. Great Christmas movie. And definitely a different take on it now that I've seen it years later.
So, in the future, go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just prepping to say something.
Oh, preparing, sir. Why are you always preparing? Just go. I think it holds up. I mean, it's bullshit, right? It's bullshit,
Yeah.
but it's fun.
Yeah.
And I can forgive a lot of, like we've talked about this. I can forgive a lot of sins if the movie's fun.
Yeah.
And this movie's fun.
Yeah. But this podcast has ruined this movie forever for me. I'll
No.
never be able to watch it once
No,
again.
you're gonna have so much fun
Never be
watching
able to
it.
watch it the same way
Now it's
again.
just going to piss us off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then let's have the fireman in and ruin Backdraft for him.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I can't wait till you sit here and be like, no, that was 100% accurate.
If they say that, everything I thought about firemen is true.
Look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at smoke come out and go back in and go, fuck it, I'm not going out.
Did you check that door for heat?
Rooms are not supposed to breathe.
Did you check that door for heat? Oh my God. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this, let us know. Here's what we got going on. We've got in January, we've got some stuff coming up. We've got some of our membership episodes. We're going to be sitting down with my dad to talk about the Rodney King investigation and the fallout from that. He's also going to do a regular episode of War Stories that's available to everybody where we're going to get some, I'm hoping, stories from the Wild Wild West days of the LAPD, the late 60s and early 70s, which should be fun. He was in Metro from like 74 to 79. So, you know, that was during the days of the beat and release program.
You might have been there for, what was that? Was that the SLA shootout?
He was not, I don't think he was there for the SLA shootout, but right after.
That was a good one.
Yeah, so he's going to come
Fucking
down.
burn it down.
he's going to come down. We're going to sit down with him on a day when we can get a regular War Stories episode, and then we'll do an episode deep dive into his part of doing the investigation and the IA into the Rodney King. But you if you want to get the Rodney King part, you're going to have to be a member, because some of these better episodes, members only. You know, you have to really want it.
I got to become a member one of these days.
I get the jacket.
You already are.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Your plank holder, actually.
That's right. So you go to the website, warstoriesofficial.com, and you can sign up for membership. Signing up for membership, paying for the $1 a month subscription, get onto the forums. What's cool is like the CPR trainee hooker episode. You want to see the pictures of the stuff we talked about? They're posted in the
they're all gonna
forums.
get posted.
If you post comments or questions in the forums, we'll try and answer them. We just we had an episode that you have to subscribe to get with Clint Eastwood's prop master Mike Sexton. He's agreed to answer questions people might have, but you're gonna have to post them in the forums to be a member. And we're getting people signing up for membership, but you guys got to use it. We post in there, but so far we haven't had many people asking questions and stuff like that. So go for it, do it. Use
Start
it.
the dialogue.
Start the dialogue. Start talking shit to yourselves. You can also pre-order the Smoke Wagon hoodie until the end of January. It's available black, gunmetal gray, coyote brown, hoodie green. You can check it out on our website. Follow us on
Instagram, Facebook. Hit us up on our email.
Right.
Still using the number that we
Yeah.
posted.
Yep. It's our and somebody asked how do they leave a voicemail, and I realized the phone number's not on our website, so I
Oh, it's not?
I went
shit.
back today and I put our phone number on our website.
Well,
So
guess what? Now it is.
yeah, now it is. We appreciate you guys. This has been great. We've been getting great feedback. We're almost at the 1 year mark. End of February will be a year that we've been doing this.
And we're meeting a lot of cool people.
We are meeting a ton of cool people, and our live episodes that you should have already seen the 511 in-store episode at this point, but we're growing the audience. We're getting contacted by people. We've had emails from New Zealand, Alaska, all kinds of people that both in law enforcement and not. So we really appreciate the support. John, you have anything?
No, covered it.
Yeah. JR, final thoughts.
Happy to be here.
We're always happy to have you.
Happy to be here. Look forward to s'more.
S'mores?
S'mores.
Are we making s'mores? Well, let's just turn this fucking thing off and have some s'mores. Elliot?
No, I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Did you
I agree that it changed my whole view of this movie. Yeah, now I'm irritated.
Wait till we do Lethal Weapon. The greatest buddy cop
That'll be
movie of all
funny,
time.
That'll be funny.
Yeah. Oh, I could never figure out how fucking old Danny Glover is. Because day one of the first movie, he's getting ready to retire. He's 50. And then 20 years later, they're still making movies. He's fucking 70?
He's in drop
And he bounced.
a few times.
Oh, God. All right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed it. If you have suggestions for movies that you want us to watch and pick apart, let us know. I think in January we have somebody. We have a Will was one of our Marines, and Shep.
Yep.
That they will probably come in and watch Jarhead and shred that. So JR, would you come back and shred Jarhead with us?
I'll come back and shred Shep.
Damn.
Perfect.
Sound
All
like
right.
a call out to me.
Till our next episode, come home. I would have John say it, but he fucks it up every time. You want to try it?
Come home on your shield. Did I fuck it up already?
Yeah, you did.
You
I did it on purpose. Now you can say it.
Come home with your shield or on it.